Have you ever watched an anime where almost nothing happens, yet you can't stop watching it? Not epic battles, no world-ending threats, and no overpowered protagonist. Just a tired office worker, a supermarket, and a few conversations behind a building. On paper, this sounds boring, but somehow smoking behind the supermarket with you has become one of the most talked anime romance anime among fans. Some call it one of the most mature romance anime in recent years. Others say it proves that a greater storyline doesn't need action or constant drama. Just what makes this anime special and why has become so popular, and does it deserve all the hype? Today we are taking a deep dive into smoking behind the supermarket with you, looking at the story, characters, theme, animation, strength, weaknesses, and whether it's worth your time. Let's begin it. Welcome back to Anime PTB. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe it. Now, the story follows as Sasaki, a middle-aged office worker exhausted by the routine of everyday life. Every day feels like the same: work, stress, home, sleep, and repeat. Like many adults, he feels trapped in a cycle that never changes. However, there is one thing that brightens his day: a cheerful supermarket cashier named as Yamada. Whenever he visits the supermarket after work, her smile makes his day a little better. One evening, he visits the store hoping to see her, only to discover she isn't there. Disappointed, he heads behind the supermarket for a smoke. There, he meets a mysterious woman named as Tayama. She is relaxed, confident, playful, and surprisingly easy to talk to. What starts as a random conversation slowly develops into one of the most enjoyable character dynamics of the season. One of the biggest reasons this anime became so popular is its realism. Most of the romance anime focus on a teenager, schools, festivals, and just student life. We have seen those stories countless times, but this anime focuses on adults, people with jobs, responsibilities, stress, regrets, and limited free time. That alone makes it feel refreshing. Many viewers connected with Sasaki because he represents something rarely shown in anime: an ordinary working adult struggling through everyday life. He is not a genius, he is not a special, he is simply trying to make it through another day. And because of that, he feels incredibly relatable. Now, one of the strong aspects of this anime is how it explores loneliness. No dramatic loneliness, not the kind where someone has nobody, but a quiet loneliness many adults experience. The feeling of being surrounded by people while still feeling disconnected. The feeling that every day blends into the next. The anime explores these emotions into a surprisingly honest way. Instead of relying on a huge emotional moments, it focuses on small interactions: a conversation, a joke, a compliment, a shared laugh. These kind of simple moments that slowly build meaningful relationships. That's what makes this anime special. Now let's talk about the characters, because they are the heart of the entire series. Sasaki, one of the most realistic protagonists we have seen recently. He isn't flashy or overconfident. He doesn't always know the right thing to say, but that's exactly why he works. His reactions feel natural, his emotions feel genuine, his growth feels believable. Watching him slowly become happier through simple human conversation is incredibly satisfying. Then we have a Tayama, easily one of the standout characters of the season. She is funny, charming, confident, and unpredictable. Every scene involving her becomes more entertaining. What makes her interesting isn't just her personality, it's the way she interacts with Sasaki. Their conversation never feels forced. Instead, they feel like two real people gradually becoming comfortable around each other. Their chemistry carries the entire show. One thing I absolutely loved is how natural the dialogues feel. Many animes conversation exist only to move the plot forward. Here the conversation are the plot. Every decision reveals something about this character. Every interaction strengthens this connection. Every conversation leaves an emotional impact. The level of writing deserves a lot of praise. Without diving into the spoilers, many of these best moments happen during the quiet conversation behind the supermarket. These scenes become a safe space for both characters, a place where they can relax and be themselves. These are the scenes that are genuinely funny, and scenes like this are emotional, and a scenes that simply makes you smile. One of the most satisfying part of this series is watching Sasaki slowly change. Not through some dramatic transformation, but through gradual emotional growth. The anime shows how meaningful meaningful connections can positively affect someone's life. Because that's the development feels realistic, it becomes incredibly rewarding to watch. Another reason people love this anime is its atmosphere. The nighttime setting, city lights, calm conversation and relaxing soundtracks creates an experience that feels incredibly comfortable. It's the type of anime you watch after a stressful day. The type of anime that reminds you of a slow down and appreciate small moments. A few anime create this kind of atmosphere so effortlessly. Now, let's talk about the animation. This isn't an anime that tries to impress viewers with a flashy action scenes. Instead, it focuses on the expressions, body language, lighting and atmosphere. The facial expressions are particularly strong. Small smiles, awakened reaction and some of the emotional changes adds a lot of personality to the character. The nighttime lighting deserves a special prize. The visual perfectly matches the tone of the story. It's not flashy but it's effective. The soundtrack also deserves a recognition. The music never tries to overpower the scene. Instead, it quietly supports the emotions. Whether it's a funny interactions or a heartful moments, the soundtrack knows exactly how much present it needs. The voice acting is equally impressive. The performance feels authentic and natural, which is essential for the dialogue-heavy anime like this. Now, let's answer the biggest question. Why did this anime become so viral? The answer is simple: because it's different. At a time when many animes are trying to be bigger, louder and more dramatic, this series succeeds by being smaller and more personal. It doesn't try to overwhelm viewers, it simply tells a good story. Many fans praise its mature writing and others appreciate finally getting an adult romance instead of an high school romance. Many viewers describe that this anime is very comfortable to watch and some even call it healing. And honestly, that's the pretty accurate description. Of course, no anime is perfect. The biggest criticism is its pacing. This is not a fast moving series. The story takes its time. If you are someone who needs a constant plot progression, some episodes may feel very slow. And another criticism is that the anime relies heavily on dialogues. If you don't connect with the character, the experience becomes less effective. The anime asks viewers to invest in small moments and not everyone enjoys the style of storytelling. So, let's summarize the pros and cons. The strength includes the fantastic character writing, realistic adult perspective, strong emotion themes, natural dialogue, excellent chemistry, reliable life struggles and a comfortable atmosphere. The weakness includes the slow pacing, limited appeal for action fans and a heavy reliance on a character interactions, and these animes are very short guys. I mean, it is a half a length of a normal anime. Now, for my final verdict, is Smoking Behind the Supermarket with You is worth watching? Absolutely yes. Not because it's a revolutionary, not because it's the greatest romance anime ever made, but because it understands something many stories forgot. People connect with it naturally at its core. The anime is about human connection, finding the comfort in unexpected places and discovering happiness in a small moments. These themes resonate because they are real. In a world where many people feel isolated, overworked or disconnected, this anime reminds us the meaningful relation often begin in the most unexpected way. That's what makes it special. Not the plot, not the setting, the humanity and authenticity. My final rating: the story is 9 out of 10, characters are 9.5 out of 10 and dialogues is 10 out of 10. Animation is 8.5 out of 10, music also 8.5 out of 10, emotional impact is 9 out of 10 and overall rating is 9.2 out of 10. A beautifully written slice of life romance anime that proves great storytelling doesn't require a huge stakes or constant drama. Sometimes all you need is two people talking behind a supermarket, and somehow this anime turns that simple idea into something unforgettable. So this is it. Thanks for watching Anime PTB. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe it for more videos like this. Until that, bye bye, sayonara.